This is Silver Stories.
Claudia Munyon, Munyon. My birthday is 2/1/1945. And fun fact, I used to like to write poetry.
Wow.
I like reading. I used to do stamp collecting.
Ooh.
Just a variety of odd things, and I was also a neighborhood organizer.
Oh.
I was president of a civic association,
Okay.
which was very interesting.
Did you stay around here? Did you live around here?
Yes, I lived in Albany Park.
Okay.
Okay, and we used their field house as a meeting place. It was cheaper. Okay, they never charged us, so we had all our functions there. And it was very interesting. I would have whatever the people were interested in or whatever was happening in the neighborhood at the time.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very social kind of activity.
Right. And okay,
What was your childhood like?
oh God, siblings, yes, there was 7 of us.
Wow.
Actually 8. I lost a brother, Rodney, when he was 2 of the whooping cough.
Oh.
And they didn't have inoculations at the time for that. And, but the rest of us, because I lost 2 more brothers. So what's left of the family now, I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers. So there's actually 5 of us left. And it was fun growing up. It's like you had your own playground. They were, my mother didn't tolerate fighting or, but kids get at it anyway. They find a way. But I love them more now as we're older and adults because they mean more to me. Mm-hmm. Kids are kids. You don't look at them growing up. You only see them in a small light. But now that they're grown and they're adults and they're wonderful human beings, and I enjoy having them, or I am blessed to have them. Okay, the siblings to my parents. My father was a P.O.W., prisoner of war. When he came home from the war, my mother said to him when I was born, "Meet your new daughter, Claudia." And newborns always have one eye open, how distorted they look. And my dad says, "That's not Claudia, that's Winky." Okay. My mother said, "No." But would you know, to this day, my whole family calls me Winky. I rarely hear the name Claudia.
Wow.
Isn't that something, how a nickname back then can stick with you?
Wow.
Yeah. So that is a little different. And like I said, my hobbies were basically, I traveled quite, not real extensive, but I wanted to go to that country. Well, I went all through Europe, went through 13 countries.
Wow.
I got to see Pope John Paul when he was in, he usually left in the summer for his summer home, which was in the mountains. But he didn't go because it was the 2000 Jubilee then. Mm. So he decided it would be best because of the amount of tourists expected there. He stayed in Rome.
Wow.
And it was very interesting seeing the crowds and stuff like that. we went through quite a few countries. We started out in England, and we ended up in Italy.
Wow.
But it was enjoyable.
What was your favorite place to visit?
Would you believe it or not? I loved Italy.
I've never been to Italy, but I've heard that that's quite the place to go, and
It
there's
was.
always something to see there.
Exactly. It was very, well, especially if you go in the Venice Canal, with the boats and
Sure.
that was interesting. And like I said, it was I loved it. Which was strange though, is you see clotheslines going from building to building. They would hang their clothes outside because they didn't have washers and dryers.
Sure.
See, we're spoiled.
Yes.
You have to look at it that way, because whatever we want, we go to the store and get. They don't have that opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them don't have the amount of income like we do. And I don't know, But my school, I went through grade 12.
Okay.
And I did a little college at Wright, which is here in Chicago.
Yeah, local.
Okay. But there's just typing, like refresher.
Sure.
Okay. Traditions. I don't know if I have any traditions.
Any family things you used to do with your family?
Oh,
or?
yeah. Every Christmas Eve, we would get together with my dad. Other traditions was we as a family, we always got together on the holidays. And I would always invite anybody that I was homeless. I mean, we had one kid in the neighborhood, and he was like a latchkey kid. And my family, I gave him a cookie once, and I couldn't get rid of him. He always showed up, and God love him.
Oh.
And to this day, I see him.
Wow.
He and my youngest son, Patrick is, are still best of friends.
Wow.
He was best man at his wedding. They're like, they just, that's how they knew of each other.
Wow.
And I was glad it worked that way, And what are your favorite activities? I used to like to do word searches, but I gotta go get my eyes checked. My one son, he's in Denver, the older boy. He's an ET
Okay.
with computers. And then Patrick's in law enforcement. I got my get out of jail free card. That doesn't work. But he's in violent crimes.
Okay.
So, between the two of them, they're got good careers. I don't worry.
Angelica was talking about how your husband was in law enforcement, correct?
Yes, he was too. He was with bomb and arson. He was an arson investigator.
Wow.
So say there was a fire, and his job was to go find the cause and origin. Yeah, this place was lit with a match, and where the burn pattern was. It's a science, but
Yeah.
he was a detective, and my youngest son's a detective.
Wow.
Okay, he had 2 children, so we had a blended family. But they all got along great, even to this day. Like Patrick went to Florida to visit his sister, Pamela,
That's
But when
sweet.
they first came, they said, what do we call them? Okay. I said, well, they're not aliens. What do you mean, what do we call them? I said, it's Tommy or Pamela or your brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
Take your pick.
Mm.
They always refer to them as their brother and sister.
That's sweet.
Well, we all had the same last name, which helped. Say, if you got two different names, it's kind of hard to go
Yeah.
that route. But since we were all Munions, and they used to argue, so I'd say, I'm going to put you in a bag and dump you on your head, and you're all going to come out Munions. I don't want to hear any more. I'm going to tell my dad. I'm going to tell my dad. So when the bickering stopped, then it got a little better.
So you held the family together for sure.
Well, I tried to. Okay. No, it doesn't say much. I had a dog, a beagle. Guess what I called her?
What'd you name her?
Useless.
Useless. Useless the beagle?
Yeah. Yeah, her name was Useless. I had 3 beagles: useless, helpless, and hopeless. Terrible. Oh, why didn't I?
Oh.
But they responded. They
Oh.
weren't offended. But they were good dogs. So how can you call a dog useless? I said, because I didn't want a dog and I got one. Okay.
And then, like, one piece of advice you have for the world.
Could we live in peace? Why does there have to be war of any kind?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people have a right to exist. And I don't care who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's best that they try to work out their differences and make it easy on everybody. And it's sad that they find that their only answer is killing somebody else. We're all put on this earth for a reason, and we all have a right to live. That's the way I look at it, okay? I didn't finish on my question. Okay, well,
The other ones at the bottom are just historical topics. So if you have any close association to any of them, you can talk about it
I
or...
didn't finish. Wait, what was your childhood like? Siblings? So I mentioned that, my parents. My hometown was small, real small. I'm from the Upper Peninsula in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the UP, you got the hand, and then you got this chunk hanging over the top. Well, I'm the chunk. And we call people from Lower Michigan trolls because they live under the bridge.
Ah, I see.
And we're Upers. So, I mean, it's just a joke between
Yeah.
us. Okay. Okay, I worked as an executive secretary for the Better Business Bureau. Okay. It was a good job. I liked it. I liked the people I worked for. And I liked helping other people. Okay. And that's what the Better Business, if you have a complaint and you can't get it straightened out, then you file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. And they'll take it up with the company. They can't guarantee it'll be taken care of, but they hope that it will. Because if you want to do business with that firm and you call the Better Business Bureau to check on it, and they said, okay, we had 10 complaints, and they only took care of 2. Well, I wouldn't do business with someone like that if they had 10 complaints and they only took care of 2.
Yeah.
To me, there's something outstanding that's not happening, you know. Okay, what is your favorite act? I love sports.
You like sports?
I'm a football.
Oh,
Yeah.
who's your team that you cheer for?
Well, the Bears. I like I like San Francisco. Okay. And basically, I follow most teams. I also like college football. Michigan's my team. They're a good team. And so I follow them and Notre Dame.
Okay.
I'm a big Notre Dame fan. And my son said, "Why Notre Dame?" I said, "I always pick them. For some reason, Notre Dame was in my head, and that's who I always went with. Notre Dame and Michigan as far as college."
Very good.
One of my activities, I try to read now. I said my glasses are a little goofed up, but that's what I do. And one place, one piece
of advice.
Right, and that was, why can't people get along? I mean, I don't care what's your faith, religion, nationality, whatever. It should be irrelevant. They're your neighbor. Get along with them. We're all put on this earth for a reason. And I think God would like what he's seeing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it has to be taken care of.
Yes.
Did I do everything?
Yes, you did. That was perfect. Thank you.
Okay.